Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm a little confused on what do I call you? Do I call you an influencer, creator? Like, what's your title?
Okay, so I think that's a really good question. Sometimes I don't love the term influencer,
Yeah.
only because I feel like there could be bad influences and good influences.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to see myself more as a social media marketer or a role model kind of thing. Like I'm either paid by these businesses to promote and market whatever it is for them,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm being a role model for people in my audience and living a better lifestyle, taking care of their fitness, mindset, wellness, all sorts of things.
So you're a social media marketer.
Basically.
Okay.
Kind of. Yeah. We'll go with it.
So I feel like being a social media marketer, like you got to post quite a bit, right?
Yes.
And like, do you need to post every day, twice a week? Like, where do you draw the line? Like, how do you manage that?
I think that's a good question because when I first got started and I decided to make it a career and committed to it, I thought I had to post every single day and share as much as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And it led to me burning out completely and I became resentful.
Okay.
Right away.
That's good. That's good advice.
I feel like choosing a amount that you're comfortable with that you could provide quality content of versus.
So is it quality or is it quantity?
Quality 100%. Like if you're going to post 2 really quality, informative, beneficial posts a week versus 5 random ones that aren't going to provide any value to people, I would choose the 2 any day.
Yeah.
So
traditional marketing tactics, I think, would disagree. I feel like you want to be in front of someone as many times. It's more about just you being that face and just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Not even just you, but brands, that are trying to market to the consumer. So I don't know. I've always wondered this. Like I've always wondered how much is too much. Are you annoying? Are you being annoying? Like
I don't think there's a right answer, to be completely honest, because there's some people who show their morning routine, their midday routine, their workout, their nighttime cool down reset. They share everything and people love it because they feel so connected to them. It's more so for you mentally, what are you able to do without burning out? Because you have to protect yourself and your mental energy first before you pour out all this energy to other people.
Yeah, and then it goes back to your talking about building your community. It's like what are you giving to the world and your fan and your community? So I think different social media influencers will probably have different strategies.
Exactly.
Right?
100%.
Whatever arena you're in or different fields you're in. So when did you first start making content?
I graduated college and I had just turned down a big job opportunity and just because I didn't feel like I was aligned with it and I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I bought a camera and I decided I'm going to start YouTube for fun, share a little bit about my life on it, and just thought that was going to be it, just a little online diary essentially. And I think that's when I first started creating content, but it wasn't creating content with the mission of it being my career. It never even became my career until I jumped ship, moved across the country, quit another job, and then all of a sudden it turned into this. And I also kind of want to touch base on that. There's nothing wrong with quitting. I feel like a lot of people think like, oh, quitters will never be successful. How are you supposed to know what you're good at or what you like? Like sometimes you have to go down these avenues, realize it's not for you, quit it, and take whatever knowledge you learned from that and put it into something else.
Yeah. Well, when did you there had to be some point where you knew you want to do this full time, right?
Yeah.
Like
I think 2017.
Okay.
I just finished moving across the country. I was trying to figure out how am I going to pay my rent and living by myself at this time. It was all on me. I'm an adult. Can't go run to mom and dad. Yeah. And so I started creating content and realized I could make money off of it and monetize it while doing something that I enjoyed doing that was effortless for me at the time. Yeah. And so that's when I started actually creating content day after day and turned it into my career and decided, okay, I'm going to fully commit to this. I like it. I'm not going to quit with this one. Yeah. Let's ride.
And here you are.
Yeah.
417,000 followers later.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's actually mind-boggling because I'm trying to think. I'm like, okay, like what? A concert doesn't even have that many people. And I'm like, that's so crazy that I have this platform where I'm able to reach that many people and they all chose to hit follow for me.
Yeah.
insane. Like, I was just some small girl from Prince George's County. Shout out the DMV. If you don't know what it is, you're not from there. And it's just insane to now girl live in California doing what I love.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So how did you start making money from your content?
Ooh. So when I was moving across the country, the day before I got to California, I quit my job. And so I didn't have any source of income at all. And I was like, how am I going to pay for this rent? This is ridiculous rent. And then I started doing just what I knew I was good at, what I was qualified of doing, which was fitness training. And so I was like, okay, I have 2 business degrees. Like, I can run with that, build a business around fitness training. So I did that for a bit. But in terms of other people and random things, if there's a specific brand that you want to work with, continuously tag them, create content for them for free. Eventually, those brands may reach out and say, hey, I love this video. Can we share it with our audience? Yeah, you can share it, but I would charge XYZ for it. I would love to work together. Wow. That's a great avenue for you to create a relationship. They already know the quality of the content that you'll create for them.
Yeah, you're being proactive too.
Exactly.
It's like being a salesperson and making that cold call to a company or, trying to get
You're proving
business.
your value. But if they want to then generate and monetize off of that, okay, well, I would love to get paid for it. It's a business, right?
Sounds like a fair business transaction to me.
So that is like some ways.
Yeah.
Another way is if there's other brands that you really enjoy working with. Example for me with Alphalete or One Up Nutrition. Those are brands that I work with for long term. Yeah. And that is from me creating these relationships with them and committing to only using those products or only wearing those clothes, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And from there, you'll get contracts to where you can figure out monetization from there.
Nice. So you get contracts. Are they usually 1 year, 2 year, 3 year?
They definitely vary. For me, I usually do 1 year minimum.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Make them commit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because you're going to be a walking billboard for them in a sense. Like, you don't want to be necessarily a walking billboard. You still want to have your own identity.
Yeah.
100%. But you're saying, I ride or die with this brand.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're only going to do that for 2 months and then you're jumping to another brand.
That doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't look good.
Yeah. I've been with them 1 year, one of them for 4 years, one of them for 6 years. So definitely been ride or die for them for quite a bit.
That's awesome. And I bet you've helped their business grow tremendously.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I really do hope so. I think it's been beneficial for both parties.
Good.
Yeah, and that's what you want with any business transaction.
Yeah,
you want it to be
fair.
beneficial for both.
Yeah, it sounds fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of relate that a little bit to my golf. When I played professionally,
You played golf professionally?
I did.
What?
For almost 10 years.
I did not know that.
20 to 30.
That is so cool. Do you want to teach me?
20 to 30, real estate 30 to 40. So,
whoa.
Yeah. I've had 2 different lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I was playing professional golf, like, we got approached by different brands to rep their putters or their wedges or their driver or the golf ball and stuff like that. And I was always pretty loyal. I mean, through my whole career, I was maybe with 2 different companies and some of the bigger ones. TaylorMade, I was probably with the longest. And
heard of that.
I
know that one.
I was committed to them, and they were committed to helping me, hopefully get to the PGA Tour. So I kind of get where you're going with that, being loyal and, helping them build as they help you build.
What other advice would you have for monetization and brand deals? Challenge you a little bit.
That's good for well, I don't have a ton. I mean, that's when I was, when I was playing professional golf, a lot of it depended on what tour you were on. So there was like, lower tier tours, then you had like kind of the middle ground, the web.com, now called Corn Ferry Tour. And then you have the PGA Tour, which is where you really make the money. So until you get to the PGA Tour, I mean, the contracts you're signing and the amount of money you're negotiating, it's pretty minimal. It really is. I mean, they're giving you free product, balls, gloves, hats, shoes, clothing, all that stuff's taken care of. If you qualify for a big event and you're wearing their hat, they maybe give you a bonus here and there.
Yeah.
But you're not going to sign a 6-digit, contract with a big company until you're on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Unless you're a big name coming out of college, possible.
Yeah.
But And also, it's, you know, I've been out of the game for 10 years, so it's probably changed a little bit too.
I feel like it's always evolving and changing, to be completely honest. Like,
with the whole Live Golf and Saudi Golf League, like that's so much money has like been thrown into golf in the last year or two.
I'm gonna be honest, I've never heard of either of those.
Yeah, so the Saudi Golf League, it's called the Live Tour. Came into the picture, I think about 2 years ago. They basically tried to buy a tour, from my understanding. They targeted some of the top players in the world that are on the PGA Tour and other tours, and they offered them large sums of money and 25, 50, 100 million, 200 million to commit and leave the PGA Tour or any other tour they were playing on and go play on their tour specifically.
So they can't be on multiple tours?
Before you could, but what Liv was, when they were paying and doing a contract, you were committing to play only on their tour, from my understanding of it. But they basically poached, 25, 50 of the top 100 players in the world, and they built their own tour.
Wow.
So it caused an uproar in the whole golf community, golf scene. And it just got announced, I think, 2 months ago that, because before it was a battle. It was like PGA Tour was like, we're not going to let any of you players play on here. And the Liv was like, okay, well, you can't come play over here. And they were blocking TV rights. And I mean, it was all out war feud between the two tours. And now the PGA Tour has come and announced that they've now partnered with Liv. Yeah.
They kind of tied their hands behind their back and they're like,
oh, there's a lot
either work with us or we're going to take all the work from you.
There's a lot of players that are not happy that they did not take the money.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, a lot of PGA Tour guys, big names, turn down $100 million to go play. And
now here they are.
And now the people that took the money now look good, right? Because now they've got the money and then they could go back and play on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
I think they're still working out how that's going to
That comes down to risk, though. It's like, are you willing to take the risk? Sometimes it's rewarding, sometimes it's not. You don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the argument was money versus kind of legacy and golf career stats because, to be one of the best players in the world, it's all about winning golf tournaments and winning majors. And, you can't do that if you're not on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. I've definitely heard of PGA Tour, but I'm sure I'm going to be hearing more about Liv now.
Yeah. Liv is like so when you go watch one of their golf tournaments on TV, it's like a party. Like they're playing music. Oh, the 17th hole at Phoenix at TPC Scottsdale?
Yes.
They have that golf tournament that has the grandstands around that
Are you
par
talking
3.
about like the waste management or
yes,
something?
The waste management. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. The golf course is TPC Scottsdale. The tournament's called the waste management.
Yes. I used to go there in college.
You knew more than I did on that. Yeah, it's a party scine, right?
Yeah.
So that's
huge party scene. That's why I went.
It's a fun spot. If any of our audience has not gone, they should go check it out.
Yeah.
Actually, I think last year, the year before was the Waste Management and the Super Bowl in the same weekend, and it was fire all weekend. Yeah.
I was actually supposed to go to that, and I didn't. It's probably for the better, to be honest.
Yeah. So, but the Liv is like it's a millennial type. What's next? Gen Z?
I think it's Gen Z.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's just a younger,
the TikTokers,
fun tour. Like they're playing music, they're drinking, they can wear shorts. It's a little more unfiltered and
it's the evolution of golf, I guess.
It really is. It really is.
It's actually on my list of things to try to conquer is I want to become a golfer.
Oh, it's great.
Mainly so my boyfriend can stop saying that he's going to go golfing and have his boy time. Like, I want to join. Let me drive the car.
No, it is. It's fun. I'm a member at a private country club, and the reason you join, one of the reasons, not just the golf, is just the community that you build.
And networking, huh?
At the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're surrounding yourself with ultimately people that you want to be doing business with, right?
100%. Like-minded individuals, business owners.
I love that. Yeah. How friendships are too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a business owner.
Yes, I am. So I didn't know what I was doing at first when I first got started.
Yeah.
So basically, let's start with the jewelry business first. That one's called Selfish the Label.
Nice.
And I used to wear this one small pendant necklace. all the time. And people would say, hey, where did you get it from?
Yeah.
And I got it from a small little beach shop in Ocean City, Maryland. It doesn't have a website. It's a small little boutique. So I'd be like, oh, I got it from blah, blah, blah. And people would think that I was gatekeeping, which is, I guess, a term that you're not telling the truth or not. You're hiding where it is from, XYZ.
Yeah.
And so I felt bad because people kept asking where I got it from and I couldn't actually provide them with an answer.
Yeah.
So I decided, okay, I'm just going to find a manufacturer to make it for me. And that's what I did. I hunted and I found a manufacturer to make me the necklace. I started selling the necklace.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then I had a really good feedback with it. And people were like, oh, do you make rings? Do you make bracelets? And so I was like, sure, I do. And I just started doing more and more and more. And then it just evolved into its own brand. And that one was like my first baby project, I guess you could say.
So I've always wondered, like, is there any negative of having like that many followers?
So I feel like it definitely plays a role in your mental health sometimes if you don't know how to create proper boundaries. And I feel like because we have these platforms, we do feel like we have to show a lot of our lives, which takes away a sense of privacy. And at least for myself, I am always on my phone because I always want to respond to someone in a timely manner or be helpful in whatever way it is, even if I'm completely drained. Yeah. And I feel like that sometimes is a downfall because
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I do the same.
You just can't shut off. And and maybe it's like a sense of entrepreneurship is you don't have a 9 to 5. You don't shut off and go home and close your laptop and you're like, see you tomorrow. Yeah. There is none of that.
No, I understand that completely.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of the downfalls, but that also that's a reflection of me too. Like maybe I could do better at time categorizing things and shutting off, but I care too much right now to shut off.
Yeah. Where it's that feeling that we get for me, I'm being productive and I'm responding, like you said, and there's like a high that comes with it. I'm not sure how much more to explain it from that. It's just like, I get it. It makes me happy when I being productive and getting it done. Yeah. But as your first line up there says, your mental health matters too. Yeah.
So when people see my page, they see fitness. Yeah. They see fitness. They see happy-go-lucky girl, business entrepreneur, but they don't know that I struggle with mental health. They don't know that I'm crying like a week out of the month every month. Like I struggle too. Yeah. And I want people to be aware of that. I want people to know, although I am a fitness girl and I look like I have it all together, I still struggle with mental health too. And I'm prioritizing that just as much as you should. Yeah. And so that's kind of why it's there.
That's good that you're being
a nice little reminder.
Yeah. And it's good that you're being vulnerable and letting your audience know that, you struggle with it too. Yeah. There's a lot of, women and men that struggle with that. And they don't have a sense of community or someone to fall back on or someone to talk to when they are struggling.
So like when I was younger and I was struggling with my mental health, like I didn't have people to talk to. I didn't want to go to my parents about it. I didn't want to go to my friends about it. Social media wasn't a thing, so I didn't see other people struggling like I was. And I think that's a beauty of social media now is you can log on and see other people going through similar struggles with you and feel seen and heard and understood. Yeah. And it gives you also a sense of hope because you see people coming out on the other side from it. And I didn't have that when I was growing up. So with my platform, I specifically put that your mental health matters too, because I want people to know that I am an open book. You may not see all the videos of me crying or me struggling because sometimes people don't want to see that, Some people think like, oh, you just want attention. But it's like, no, I'm trying to show people that, hey, I've been there too. I hear you. I see you. I stand with you. How can I help? Yeah. Yeah.
That's powerful. And you really mean it too. Yeah. I can tell.
Thank you.
Yeah. So do you think it's too late to become an influencer in 2023?
Never too late.
No.
Never. I feel like people think that it's too late for them because of how saturated it is. Yeah. But that's also because everyone's trying to do the same thing as the one person going viral. It's kind of like a pyramid. They see the person at the top and it's like, okay, let's follow in their exact footsteps to get to that very top of the peak. Yeah. Instead of figuring out other ways. Maybe you're freaking carving through and just going straight up. Like, you just never know. So showing up as yourself and figuring out what makes you unique people will love you for it, and you'll find that audience for you and the brands that want to work with you for you.
Yeah.
So it's never too late.
Well, that gives me hope then.
There you go. It's your time to shine. Let me manage you.
So what does your day look like? As like, what do you do on the daily as you're running this business and multiple businesses and being a social media marketer?
Yeah. So typically wake up, first take care of myself a little bit, do the breakfast, take care of my dog, that kind of stuff. Then I'll sit down, light a candle, answer emails, respond to as many people that need my energy at that time.
Yeah.
Take a break. At the gym, I'm recording content for other people to provide value for them. Come home.
So you're like
edit
2
content.
hours at the gym, or like?
I used to be, but now I'm a lot more efficient with it, where I'm there an hour and a half tops.
Yeah.
And then come home, usually if I have an Onyx meeting, a selfish meeting, a financial planning meeting, just some sort of meetings.
Yeah.
So I'll handle all of those. And then, to be honest, I like going on my laptop all the way up until probably 9 o'clock at night, because I don't know how to shut off, and I'll just keep working on little things, or I'll write to-do lists of things that I want to conquer the next day that are by priority. And it's kind of just...
Do you have a plan? Like, do you schedule posts like, hey, I'm going to post this, next Friday, or do you kind of have like a...
With some content, like I think it depends. If I'm working with a brand and they're having a launch on a specific day, then yes, I'll cater to that. Yeah. But other times it's more so when I wake up like, oh, did I make a video that's with this trending audio? Okay, let me post that trending audio. Or it's Monday, I want to post something motivating for people. Let me post a really cool workout or XYZ. It kind of goes like that. Yeah. I feel like when you're too Bible with it, you kind of lose touch with who you are and the freedom of having fun with it.
Yeah. So if you had to start over, would you do anything differently, or would you just keep running as hot as you are now?
I think I would have treated it a little bit more like a business, because when I first got started, I didn't realize the platform that I had. And I didn't realize the opportunities that came with it. And I was also young. There weren't people before me that were doing it that I could be like, hey, what did you do?
Yeah.
And so I kind of was learning as I could go. I have ultimately no regrets. I don't want to live with regrets. It's got me this far, and I didn't come this far to just come this far, as Kim Kardashian would say. But for other advice for other people is, if you want it to be a business, treat it like a business.
Yeah. So the night we met was Ashley's birthday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We started talking about real estate a little bit, and you told me you bought your own house, like 4 years ago?
Yeah. Bought my own house 2019, which is surreal, and just shows like how powerful social media can be. Because when I first moved to California, I was living in an apartment with no job with cockroaches. So, life just completely can shift.
Yeah. Can you imagine telling our parents that you bought a house off social media marketing?
I know. Insanity. I would have never believed you.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. And one thing that I like about owning my own house specifically now is my goal, and you can relate to this because of real estate. I mean, your profession is real estate, is I want to use my house eventually as a piece of my portfolio and get another house and then rent mine out and then kind of things like that.
Yeah.
But I want to know a little bit more about you, because like, hopefully you could be a mentor of mine one day, because I'm supposed to get my real estate license like any day.
You're going to get your real estate license?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was actually supposed to get it a year ago, but Onyx, the skincare brand, just kind of started taking off. And I just jumped with that because I knew I needed to put my energy towards that at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow.
Real estate at some point.
I'm going to have to call Jason and Matt, and you'll be the new face of the Oppenheim Group.
Oh, watch out. I can sell.
Yeah, I'm sure you can, as we can see. Real estate I love it. It's just a passion. I'm just as passionate about it as you are with your community. I am with my community.
What's your favorite thing about it?
I think my favorite thing about it is it's ever changing. I spoke on this, I think, on another podcast, but it's just ever changing, kind of like golf. I mean, you're different properties, different clients, different situations, different landscape. Like it's always evolving. And I think really as I've progressed in my career, really transforming, I want to call it, to a luxury agent, even though it doesn't matter. I'll sell a $100,000 mobile home.
Yeah.
But it's just going into these like houses that I never thought I could afford, and helping them transform the way they look, and getting them a facelift, if you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It and then actually selling it and seeing the results, that the proven results that are done, that we did.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me a sense of accomplishment, and it just keeps me motivated.
I love it. One of my favorite hobbies is to go to open houses.
Do you?
I love it.
It's good. Actually, most agents don't go to open house as much, and they should, because it allows you to know the inventory, and it allows you to meet other agents in the community that you're working with. And it helps you know the inventory. You get to see the floor plans, the finishes, the layouts, the lot sizes, the square footage. And then you start you basically have knowledge power now of a community or a city. I always tell my clients, even if they're a year away from looking, hey, let's start a search 6 months, and let's just go, when time permits, let's go dabble and go look. Because when they're ready, they'll know. They're like, oh, I remember looking at that house and that was the price.
Yeah.
And they will see value when they're ready to purchase.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for someone like myself who's trying to get into real estate and be a power horse like you are?
Yeah. Oh, thanks. I don't know if I'm a power horse, but I appreciate that compliment. I think real estate is the best profession you could ever do. I mean, it's such a great wealth generator. I will say where I see agents and newer agents fall short is they think they can do it a little bit part-time. And I know you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
But
that's why I don't commit to it right now. I know that it requires that energy, and I can't give it that right now.
It does. It requires your full self. And yes, maybe, I'm still an entrepreneur. I've involved in different businesses, and I still flip homes once in a while. But, 90% of my attention is on, serving my clients and selling real estate. So I think that's probably the number one thing, is just you have to treat it like your onyx, your baby, your first business. Like you're putting everything you have into that business, and you just said the time commitment that you're giving it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it takes to get a real estate business off the ground. It's no different. It's just you got to spend the time.
I think a lot of people see these shows, which you're obviously very close knit to, which is Selling Sunset, and they think that
selling the OC.
Yeah, and selling the OC, the main one you're specifically tied to, is people think that they can just jump in, make all this money, live this lifestyle, be set. Yeah. And it's not as easy as that.
No. I mean, it's after one transaction, you're like, oh my gosh, now where am I going to make money on the next one? Like, you're constantly chasing clients and deals and transactions and closings. Yep. And as, the market tends to shift and demand drops, it gets scary, right? The house that you bought, the cars that you have, like, it's a little tougher to balance your lifestyle than a traditional 8 to 5 job.
Yeah, because the stability isn't there as much.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I have my wife. She's a stable one.
Love that. Shout out, wife.
I mean, I think it's evident from your page. 417,000 followers. You've built this like community, and you get a lot of engagement. Oh, look at this one. Is this a marathon?
Yeah, so I did Surf City Marathon over in Huntington. So basically, I'm not a runner, or I wasn't a runner. I was scared of running. I struggled with a lot of self-doubt, and that was something that for some reason I just felt like I couldn't overcome. And I decided, you know what? I strive being uncomfortable in uncomfortable situations. So let's do it. And for me to be committed to it, I had to actually sign up for something. So the day I decided I was going to become a runner, I signed up for a half marathon. I hired a coach, and I went on a run. Wow. And I just full on sent it. I got my feet scanned, bought running shoes. And I think there's power in deciding to put yourself in uncomfortable situations to grow and evolve, because now I love running. It's my me time. It's time that I prioritize myself, and it's time that I do something for me. Yeah. And when I did this, I had a lot of people reach out to me because I shared my journey with people. I checked in with them every run. I checked in them when I was having a hard run, a good run, when I felt on top of the world. And it motivated a lot of people to get into running. And I loved that because
you had an impact.
Yeah, I had some sort of impact on something that I thought would be so minimal. Yeah. And how cool is it that I'm motivating people to go out there and try something different that's good for them?
Yeah. It's the little things nowadays that you can do.
It is. So minimal.
My wife loves running for all the reasons you just expressed. Like she likes being outdoors. It's her time.
Mm-hmm.
She's just her and her run. Like she puts her music on and she loves she loves it. I hate running. I'll be honest. I don't know why I hate running.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
I don't mind biking.
Yeah.
But I think just the running is. I need to get better at it. So maybe I think you just inspired me. I want to go buy running shoes right now.
Yeah, why not? Running shoes honestly make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because before that, I was running in some really worn down Adidas Ultra Boosts, and I thought that they would be great running shoes. And then someone introduced me to Nike Vaporflies and Hoka's. Changed the game for me. And shorten your strides.
Are they thinner, like more cushiony?
Really cushiony. So one little tip that really helped me is imagine you're trying to cross the street and you're going across the street when it says don't walk. And so you know how sometimes you kind of like do a little pep in your step and you do a little mini run, even though the people in the car are probably like, this idiot. But doing that little run the whole time.
Okay.
And it helps you pick it up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Huh. To try it. All right, let's jump back into content. And the hot topic right now is algorithm, as you've heard. So what are your thoughts on the whole algorithm, and do you have any methods for staying on top of it?
So I feel like everyone's chasing the algorithm and trying to figure it out. And in reality, I don't even know if there is some sort of secret sauce. If there is, I have not figured it out, to be honest. I'm more concerned about taking care of the audience that I do have and building my relationship with them, because ultimately those are going to be the people that support me versus random people on the Explore page. I'll build and nurture those relationships as they come when they come.
Yeah.
But I'm more focused on these people right here first and foremost. Yeah. And I think that is what a lot of other people should do too. Just focus on being yourself and pushing out content that you would want people to see instead of posting out content because you want to go viral. Like you should not care about going viral. Viral content is not going to support your business or nurture and create good relationships. You want brands to believe in you and who you are and what you stand for versus, oh, you know, they just look good promoting XYZ. You don't want that. You want people to believe in you for you. So I think, one, be unapologetically yourself. Be loyal to the brands that you genuinely want to work with, and don't just take any and every opportunity thrown your way, because the bigger brands that you do admire and dream to work with are going to see that and not want that.
I feel like your followers, or any followers for that matter, can pick up on that too. Like you not being authentic and not being, not showing stuff that you believe in or selling something that you believe in. You know, you see some people that kind of just put up things and try to sell this and that, and you're just kind of like, all right.
To make quick money.
To make quick money, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you have to treat your audience, you build that trust with your audience. Yeah. And with that being said, you have to protect your audience. Like if you're going and saying, oh, I absolutely love a fat burner. I don't use fat burners. I don't believe in fat burners. Yeah. But I go and push that. Then, God forbid, a 14-year-old girl, a 16-year-old girl goes and buys that, damages their body. Like, I don't want that influence. Like, you have to be so protective of things that you promote and truly believe in. And also that trust, you break that trust. Yeah. If you say this candy tastes amazing, it's the best candy ever, it curbed all my cravings, and then somebody gets it and they hate it, they're gonna be like, what was this girl talking about?
It makes so much sense. And I see it all the time with, you know, different influencers and, you know, social media marketers. You built, when you said earlier, the community. The community is what you're trying to nurture and relate to and be vulnerable to. And I think that really in itself is growing your following.
Yeah, because respond to them, ask them questions, respond to them in DMs, respond to comments, make them feel appreciated versus just chasing more and more and more. You're never going to be satisfied with more and more and more. Like when I had 10,000 followers, I was so excited. And then I was like, I want more. But as you get more, nothing changes. You still want to take care of the audience you have. That's it.
So what was the coolest opportunity that you have, gotten from being a social media marketer / influencer?
I love that you
I'm going to say it like
say
6
every
times.
Single time. So this one's hard because I could say it in a broad answer, or I could say in a very specific answer.
Give me both. What's the specific answer?
Okay, specific answer. I think there's two. One, I got approached by Nike to do a Nike campaign for a pair of running shoes, and that was all from the running that I told you about.
That's a publicly traded
company.
company.
So I think that was so cool. Like when I did soccer, when I did cheerleading, when I did all these sports, Nike was always on my feet.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm older and I have this platform and Nike reached out to me, and I didn't even believe it. I didn't even think it was real.
You've made it if Nike reached out to you.
Yeah. I thought that was so cool. It was such a surreal moment that I didn't believe it. And I didn't respond for about 2 weeks. Yeah. And then they DM'd me and I was like, oh, this is real. So that was a really cool experience. Another one, a few villas over in Bali actually reached out to me to fly out and bring awareness to their villas and their hotels and try to get more people to vacation over in Indonesia.
Wow.
And that was a really cool experience because I got to create relationships with people over there. And there's a taxi driver named Nyoman who we absolutely love, and his family's amazing. And when we were there, every villa that we had, we would let his family come over and we would buy food and we would all just hang out in the pool. Yeah. And that was such a cool experience to create relationships with people in a whole different area of the world. And
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience.
Did you get to stay on the huts that are on the water and the water is crystal clear?
We got to do all sorts of things. Blue. It was such an unreal experience.
Wow.
I had so much fun. We stayed probably at 6 different.
I don't
We could try. But I would say that's specific. Broad, I think it's really cool when I go to these fitness conventions and people come up to me and say, can I take a picture with you? Or they tell me about how I impacted them. I'm like,
that's awesome.
This is so crazy. Like small PG County girl from Maryland, DC area, having people come up to her saying that I helped change their life one way or another. Like that is crazy.
No, that must feel so good. And, really it gives value to what you're doing.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I'm still trying every single day, but to have those moments happen and multiple times, that's really cool.
Well, Ashley, honestly, thank you so much for coming. I felt a lot of pressure for season 2, who I was going to bring on. And, thank you for coming on and being your authentic self. I couldn't have asked for anyone better to come on the show.
Wow. Thank you so much. Honestly, I had such a blast. This was a great experience and I loved learning more about you too. So
thank you. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, love to.
Yeah.